What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to talk about the movie The Taking of Pelham 123. This was a movie that I've seen last week. I believe I seen it on Amazon Prime. If you guys want to watch it, I believe it's on Netflix, but you can also watch it on Amazon Prime. This was a movie that I've seen last week, and I decided to just talk about it. I thought it was a great film, and this is like a jump start to start making more movie reviews for you guys, and just try to put out more content for you guys, but also just have fun with it. For me, I love films, and I'm sure if you guys click on this video, you guys love films as well. For me, I enjoy watching thrillers, movies that are insightful, it has a message, a deep meaning that you can explore. And for me, I like characters. I like people that bring characters to life, and I like film, and I like how things are recorded, and sounds that goes into movies, and just the detailing of just making a movie itself. I'm just so into arts and movies in general. So this is one of those movies that I've seen. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen this movie before, which it surprised me, because when I seen the cover, I'm like, oh, this is Denzel Washington in this movie. I was like, man, I gotta watch this movie. I gotta check it out. Because Denzel might be my favorite actor of all time, and it was just unbelievable that I didn't see this movie. But so just to put things into content, this movie, it was released in 2009. It was directed by Tony Scott. I believe that there was an original film to this movie in 1974, and then they made a TV series of this film in 1998. I'm not too sure of whatever happened, but this was the next chapter. Like I said, this came out in 2009. Denzel was a leading role character. Also, John Travolta. I'm sorry, I said his name wrong. John Travolta, another legendary actor. He played the villain in this film. So, this was a really good film. A lot of yin and yang. And basically, guys, if you guys don't know, the plot to the story, I would say is, alright, so this guy, Ryder, he's the villain. Then you have Denzel Washington, he's playing a character, and his name is Walter Garber. And Walter Garber, he's pretty much a subway contractor. He tracks where subways, where are they going, where are they located. I don't even know how can I even say the occupation, but yeah, he basically works for the train station. He knows the ins and outs of trains and stock and money. And this movie takes place in New York, Manhattan to be specific. And basically this movie it's a negotiation deal. It's a hijack that, Ryder, he hijacks this train. He executes it pretty well. He has some accomplice. It was two other guys. I can't even pronounce their name. One of them, his name was Bushkin, and the other guy was Amir. Something I can't even really pronounce their name. They're just background characters. But Ramos is one of the inside guys that actually knew the train station, and he actually got everything up and going. He ended up dying in the film. There's a lot of deaths, a lot of shooting in this movie, and Ryder's the real deal. And I think that's why his character, it meant so much in this movie, because the intensity of this movie was based off of Ryder's energy. This guy was not messing around. He wanted his $10 million. And the whole purpose of this movie is basically Ryder, he was a stock investor, and he did some fraudulent things, and he ended up serving time for it. He was supposed to get 3 years. Instead, they gave him 10 years in prison, and this is basically a little bit of a revenge tour in a way, and he wants to get that money back. It just so happens that Garber, he gets this call, he gets this dispatch, and he ends up having to negotiate the 10 mil that Ryder wants. And now they're involved in New York, the governor to come and give the 10 mil. And just throughout the film, you just see the intensity. Ryder, say mother effer, every scene he's just spazzing, but you just kind of see the cuckoo-ness in this guy's head, and that's what just makes the movie, that's what just builds up the suspense. I remember even the scene when he was gonna shoot the kid, the skateboard kid, the one with the laptop. That scene was deep, because we was like, yo, this dude is really about to kill this kid. And he actually ended up making Garber confess to the $35,000 that he took when he took a trip to China. He did something where he invested into this train station, and apparently they bribed him, and he took $35,000. So that was like a big deal, and he ended up confessing in front of all his people in his job and stuff. So it was just like a really deep moment. I thought that was, Denzel, he played a really good job in that scene, just that, the teary eye coming down and just confessing a hard truth in front of your peers. I mean, that was just unbelievable. It was great acting. And throughout the film, you just hear Ryder say, "You are my hero." Ryder, he knows what Garber was about. This whole ransom thing, it was just pretty much yin and yang. And come to find out, throughout the movie, through it all, the money had to be transported into the tunnel. So Garber ends up going to, give Ryder the money. So he ends up taking his trail to go to the actual spot and takes him in. And it was just a big mind trip, because what I thought that, a lot of the FBI's and the cops that was investigated, I thought that they would have thought that Garber was actually in on the whole heist, just because Garber, for Ryder to say, "No, I want Garber to deliver the money specifically," it kind of raises eyebrows. Like, why do you want this guy specifically? Like, it could have been, the bomb squad, it could have been a cop or whatever to do this transaction, but instead he wanted Garber. So it really rose eyebrows that Garber could have just been totally in on the job, because Garber knew how to work with trains, and basically their getaway was to basically go through like Coney Island and stuff, but they don't know the ins and outs of how to drive a train or whatever. So Garber was their scapegoat. Come to find out towards the end, Garber, he escapes through that whole thing. And everything pretty much comes down to the last scene, the epic scene where Ryder, he's off with his briefcase. I mean, it was $10 million. It was 3 of them. I'm sure Ryder had he probably had like about $3 million inside that suitcase. So this guy was trying to be out. But come to find out, like, Garber being who he is, he chased down Ryder. They had this scene at the bridge, and that's when it just really gets deep. Just because they know of each other, they know the intent of what's going on, and just somehow, Garber, I'm sorry, I always say Garber, he ends up shooting Ryder. It was one of those situations where Ryder knew that he was either gonna, die in the hands of the cops or lose his freedom and go to jail. So he needed Garber to pretty much free him from going to jail. So the only option was for Garber to shoot him, and that's what he was threatening to do. He was like, "Yo, shoot me or I'm gonna shoot you." It was like a life or death situation, and it ends up Garber had to be the one to shoot Ryder, because Ryder had no scapegoat. So to him, he was his hero for him to kill him. It was just such a cuckoo way of thinking, but I believe like this movie, like I said, like just the whole build up and just the whole suspense. Holding hostages. I mean, the acting was good. What kind of bothered me was the black guy. He was a part of like the Air Force or the Marines or whatever, and he basically sacrificed his life for the child and the woman. But it's like, yo, he just yells and says, "Yo, shoot me, just get it over with." I'm like, man, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna, you gotta go out, fighting. I just couldn't believe like the black dude really just sacrificed himself like that. Like, it could have just been like, they could have just fought for the gun or something, but it was just kind of messed up how the black dude died. But like I said, overall it was very intense. Ryder, like I liked this character because he was devious, and he was a smart guy, but he just used his smartness in the wrongs, and that's what it really just comes down to. He just, everything that he's done in his life to make that money and the fraud and all that stuff, everything caught back up in his life, and it all came down to him dying, and that's the whole situation. And Garber being the good guy and actually shooting Ryder because of that whole bribe that happened. Because again, Garber, he did something extremely illegal. He could be facing jail time, but I guess Garber shooting Ryder and taking care of this whole situation, he's deemed as a hero. And my biggest question, I would say, to kind of sum up this video, is I would say, like, what kind of happened after Garber shot Ryder? Like, what actually happens towards the end? Like, does Garber maintains a hero? Does the governor back him? And does he keep his job? Like, what actually ends up happening? That's probably like the biggest question mark throughout the film. I mean, at the end, he comes back, you know, he goes home to his wife with the milk, and you know that scene. But whatever happens to his kids, whatever happens to his life after, you know, does the media, how does the media portray him? I mean, there's just a lot of question marks on how the ending could have been. Like, for me, I think the movie could have been a little bit more deeper if you know, obviously Garber has kids. I think it could have just been on some Spider-Man stuff. Like, I think Ryder, the reasoning for the hijack should have been like, yo, I have kids and I want this 10 million to go to my, you know, my kid has cancer or something. Like, this money could have went towards, you know, saving my daughter. I'm doing this. Like, the purpose could have been a lot more stronger, is basically what I'm trying to say. This movie could have just been it could have been a little bit more deeper. Like, it could have just been like, you know, Gabber understands why he's hijacking this subway for the money. I have, you know, just the empathy of a father to father. Like, I understand why you're doing this. Like, see, that would have been a deeper storyline if Ryder was hijacked the subway, just to kind of just show, like, you know, like, I'm doing this for my daughter, I'm doing this for my family, something deep rooted like that. Because most people that actually commit crimes or do stuff like that is for a deeper meaning. And I think Ryder I think that scenario could have been deep. I think it could have been dope. You know what I'm saying? That whole scene at the bridge, I think it would have been dope if that was the conclusion. Like just that power of father to father. And, you know, I just think that would have been a good storyline if it was like that. But, you know, I think the ending could have been better, but you know, I'll take it for what it is. But that's just pretty much my opinion on this film. I mean, I just think it was great acting by Denzel. You know, Denzel played a character where he was just a conservative guy. I'm not gonna say he was, because some people, you know, he was talking proper. His character was talking proper throughout the film, and some people would say, oh, he's talking white. No, he's just, I think a better description would say he was more conservative. You know, but you know. He was really conservative throughout the whole film, and just the way he played his character is a character I'd never really seen Denzel play. So, I mean, to me, I thought it was good acting. Some people may think that this was, you know, not, you know, one of, you know, Denzel's worst films. Some people might think it's one of his best films. But, you know, you guys tell me below. You guys drop a comment below. What do you guys think of Ryder as the villain? What do you think of Garber as the hero? You know, you guys let me know in the description below. I felt like I was kind of everywhere, but this is one of my first videos, so, you know, I'm going to try to pinpoint things better and just get better just talking about films. But you guys, I want to hear your intake. You guys let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below, and I'm going to be doing a lot more movie reviews. I think Gemini Man might be the next movie I might actually do. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe. Be safe, y'all. Have a good day. And peace. Have a good day.